Get ready to be a pickleball force to be reckoned with. This is the Babolat RNGD series.
A balanced overall feel that packs a punch while maintaining a softer side, the RNGD paddle features a poly core and a fiberglass hitting surface. Offered in both a lightweight touch version, swinging in at 7.6 ounces, and a heavier power, weighing in at 8.1, the RNGD is a universal paddle that can benefit dinkers to bangers and everyone in between.
Between the RNGD Power and the RNGD Touch, I was quick to favor the RNGD Touch paddle as I found it to be the more consistent paddle overall and just offer the better all-court playability. Not only was it super whippy in nature, which allowed me to have great reaction times under pressure, but I also just thought it offered a really great feel in that I had a good read on the ball off of the paddle. I felt like the weight was distributed as such that no matter where I made contact with the ball, it just had a really even response. So whether I was hitting blocks on the defensive or I was being the aggressor, I felt like I had really good control and stability and good feel for ball placement. I also enjoyed that I could switch up my game and play with a little bit of variety. I felt like I could hit flat and I could also go for more of a touch game and play with a lot of spin, so I was always keeping my opponent on their toes in that sense. The only area where I maybe struggled at first was on serves, as I have been using a paddle that weighs in around 8 ounces, and so with the lighter weight I was afraid to swing too fast and try to go for too much power and hit long, but it ended up being quick for me to get dialed in as there was just so much spin to tap into on serves that I could really get those balls winding through the court, and I was able to hit some pretty sharp angles as well, so serving became a lot of fun with this paddle. Overall, I was super impressed with this play test. The RNGD Touch paddle has become my new go-to paddle of the moment. It's a great paddle for those who love whippy maneuverability matched with great feel and stability.
So the first thing I noticed with these paddles was the different weights and how they were weighted a little bit differently. So the Touch is a 7.6 and it's weighted a little bit head light, which gives you a little bit of extra maneuverability at the net. Power was weighted at 8.1 and it's a little bit more head heavy, which made my ground strokes and my serve effortless. I didn't have to swing as hard as I could and I was still generating a lot of power on my serves and on my ground strokes, but I did lose a little bit of that maneuverability at the net. Overall, I liked both paddles. I gravitated a little bit more towards the Touch since the maneuverability allowed me to stay in more points.
Well, I kind of fell in line with Kristen and Austin, and I actually really like the Touch as well. To me, this thing is the most universal paddle in the Babolat series. 7.6 ounces, but it's evenly balanced, so it doesn't feel too light, but you do get the benefits for me for both a maneuverable and a power paddle. I was able to whip this thing around up in the kitchen, but my ground strokes as well, I was able to swing this thing really fast, so I generated that power, but when I charged up to the net and I got into those dink rallies, had a ton of touch as well. I like that it was evenly balanced though, because when I needed to block something, I felt the actual weight up in the paddle, so I was able to get a lot of balls back that I couldn't. Now, that said, the power wasn't as big of a difference for me. It is a ½ ounce heavier, but it is evenly balanced as well. So if you guys like a heavier paddle, this thing is gonna have a lot of benefits and it's not gonna lose a ton in the maneuverability aspect. You're still gonna be able to move it around, but if you do have a slower swing, this thing is gonna be a great to generate a lot of power for you. And then when you get up into those dink rallies at the net or your opponent's flicking balls at you, the blocking on this thing is through the roof. Overall though, this thing was the chosen one for me. One of the best paddles I've ever played with, just because it is a universal paddle across the board. Power, maneuverability, touch, and feel. This thing for me was a 10 out of 10.
To learn more about the Babolat RNGD series, be sure to click the link in the description below or check us out at totalpickleball.com.